Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for Introduction to ePortfolio, second event of the evening. So for those of you who were with us for the first event this evening, thank you for staying with us. For those of you who are new this evening, welcome. We have Daniel Pezzano with us today. He is my counterpart in criminal justice, and he has been instrumental in developing and coordinating the ePortfolio. So hopefully all of you know by now that ePortfolio is a requirement for graduation, whether you are in a degree or certificate program. And this is a tool that is used to help us and help you make sure that you are meeting your learning outcomes for the program. But it's also something that you can really make your own. As Danny will probably explain later, it is something that you can add pictures to, color, and it's not just something that is required for BU. I believe you can take this with you and use it if you're applying for jobs, internships, and things of that nature. So really important, really good tool. And I think this is a good follow-up from those of you who got to hear David's presentations about visual communication. So I am going to turn it over to Danny.
Andrea, if that's okay, I just want
Yeah.
to say one thing. Danny is also a student in our program, and he has the singular distinction of being both an administrator and a student. And it's not just at the CPUA, but Danny has been instrumental in putting the entire e-portfolio project together for the entire Department of Applied Social Sciences, which I believe is about, Danny, correct me, 3,000 students? Something
All right.
like that.
It is a lot.
Okay. Well, thank you, Andrea and Madhu, for that introduction. As Andrea said, my name is Danny Pezzano. I am an academic program manager for the Department of Applied Social Sciences. I help oversee and manage the criminal justice program. So thank you all for attending. Tonight, I will be explaining what an e-portfolio is, how to use it, how to navigate the template, and why you would use an e-portfolio. So with that, I will start my PowerPoint. Okay, so what is an e-portfolio? An e-portfolio is short for electronic portfolio. It's much like the traditional portfolio of an artist. It's a way of making one's work and learning visible to others, but in an electronic format that makes it easily accessible on the web. So what's the difference between an e-portfolio and a website? An e-portfolio is a website, just a particular kind of website. An e-portfolio is a website that contains information selected to showcase learning and experience. All e-portfolios are websites, but not all websites are e-portfolios. So with that, I will now show you a brief clip on why you would use an e-portfolio.
Meet Sandra. She's a busy academic at the University of Happy Town. She knows how important it is to focus on her continuing professional development, but it isn't very easy for her. She needs some space where she can organise and investigate the evidence of her development. There are so many things that Sandra needs help with. Problem 1. Sandra has evidence of how she has met her professional body's competencies in a work folder on her pen drive. Her only way of sharing this evidence with her mentor is to print off the information, which is both fiddly and bad for the environment. Problem 2. Sandra has some great notes from the really interesting conference she attended 2 months ago. She wants to share these with a colleague from the University of Gladstone. They want to apply for a funding bid together. But the notes are still in the conference bag under her desk. Problem 3. The conference notes would also be good evidence for staff development that she can mention in her appraisal, but she doesn't know how to combine these notes with the paper-based system. Problem 4. Sandra is designing a new module and has scribbled down reflections and thoughts on scrap paper. She would like to use them as evidence of her own learning for a teaching qualification she is studying for. Problem 5. Sandra has been producing podcasts and would really like to have a space to keep her audio files and her notes about them in one place. So, Sandra needs something that can help her keep track of her work, share information with peers, showcase her teaching activities, and a space where she can store her reflections about her teaching journey. Well, luckily for Sandra, the University of Happy Town has decided to buy each of their staff an e-portfolio. An e-portfolio is an easily accessible online area where you can store all the things that are important to your CPD and career development. E-portfolios are password protected so you can control who is able to see which parts of your work and for how long. In your e-portfolio you can keep all your Word documents, and when you want to share the information with others, all you need to do is send a link to your portfolio. The other people looking at your work can add comments and you can get feedback. Keep your appraisal and CV on your e-portfolio with links to evidence, websites and other documents. You can easily share them with your mentor and employers. Store audio files and other file formats in your e-portfolio and comment on them. Write a blog. Even if you don't share it with anyone, the process of writing a blog can be very useful in reflecting on ideas and organising your thoughts. Sandra loves her e-portfolio. She writes her blog most days and is currently using her e-portfolio to work with her Gladstone University College to write her funding bid. Sandra has the space to work on her personal development and CPD. And now that Sandra's development and evidence is neatly and professionally displayed in her e-portfolio, it is easy to see her achievements and goals.
Okay, so those are some of the reasons why you would use an e-portfolio. For the CPUA program, what we're asking is we're requiring students to maintain an e-portfolio of the work they produce throughout their master's or certificate program. E-portfolios offer all programs within the Department of Applied Social Sciences the opportunity to collect samples of student work in one place for assessment purposes. The faculty will view portfolios as a tool to measure how well we are meeting our collective goals for student progress. And we hope you view it as a chance to capture and showcase your best work, demonstrating the core competencies you've developed throughout the program. Throughout your program, you will be asked to upload assignments of your choosing to your portfolio. The assignments you select will be used to demonstrate you have met one or more of your program's learning outcomes. For example, you might upload a research paper from a core course to demonstrate written communication skills, or a presentation to demonstrate verbal communication skills. You may elect to share your portfolio with potential employers or as part of a university application. Otherwise, the only people who will view the portfolio are members of the learning assessment team for your program. The information we obtain from your portfolio will only be used to assess whether students are meeting a program's learning goals and objectives. Portfolios are not graded and will not be shared, but as mentioned, they are a requirement for graduation purposes. So with that, I will now show you what the CPUA ePortfolio template looks like. Okay, so by now you should have received instructions on how to set up a Digication account. Digication is the company that oversees ePortfolios. So once you've created an account and added yourself to the City Planning Urban Affairs course, you'll have access to the CPUA ePortfolio template. And so as you can see, once you have access, there are tabs. Each tab is a learning outcome. And so what we're asking students to do is, through the course of your program, after completing each course, is to identify an assignment from your course that meets a particular learning outcome and upload that assignment to its respective learning outcome. So for example, one of the learning outcomes that you should have mastered by the end of your program is knowledge of history and theory. So understand and apply knowledge of the history and theory of urban and regional development, the structure and functions of urban systems, local and national policy making processes, and the role of planning to create sustainable outcomes. So this is the learning outcome. And what you'll do is we're asking students to write a brief summary explaining why you've chosen the assignment you did. So include, in this summary box is where you'll include the course names, how does the assignment relate to the learning outcome, and summarize and highlight the knowledge, skills you've learned. So in this area, you want to explain why you selected the assignment you did. And you almost want to write it as if you are explaining to somebody what your program is all about. Try to explain to somebody as if they have no city planning or urban affairs related background. Because again, you're able to use this ePortfolio and use it towards, if you're applying to jobs or other graduate programs, you can share this to anybody that you want to share it to. So what you'll do is you're able to edit this box. So simply click the edit tool and then you can add to it type of way. And this section is where you'll upload the actual assignment. So just like any other file upload process, you'll click add file, and you can choose from, a Word document, or if the particular assignment is a recorded video, maybe audio, you can choose the file here, and it will populate in this section here. And each tab has a different learning outcome. So for example, quantitative and qualitative research skills. So for those who are in UA 703 right now, research methods, you can use the focus group that we just conducted the other day. You can add the video recording to this. That would be a good example, or the finished project.
Danny, can I just quickly say something? Sorry for interruption.
No, yeah, please do.
We shouldn't probably upload the focus group video because we said it's going to be confidential.
That's right.
But what we can do, we can definitely the transcribed version or the final analyzed version of the focus group, we can definitely upload.
Even better. All right. Thank you for catching that. So what we're asking students to do is throughout their program to start thinking about which assignments in your courses that would best meet the particular learning outcome. you may find that one assignment meets one learning outcome, or multiple assignments may meet an outcome. You can upload as many assignments as you feel necessary, but we are asking that a minimum of one assignment be uploaded to each learning outcome. And so as we enter the second half of the semester, now you can start thinking, now's a good time to start thinking of which assignments you're completing that would apply to each learning outcome. And again, the finished product is not due until your last semester. So you do not have to submit a completed portfolio after each course, but you will be required to at the end of your program prior to graduation. So usually when you apply to graduate, that would be a good time to start wrapping up your e-portfolio and submit it. So in addition to the learning outcomes, you'll be responsible for the summary page. And on the summary page is where we're asking students to summarize your entire portfolio. What we've seen students do in this section is introduce themselves, current program. We even seen some students upload a resume and highlight and showcase your best work, demonstrating the core competencies you developed, and what particular skills would you like to promote. So that is what this section is for. And so with that, I will now show you an example of a completed e-portfolio from one of our students in the criminal justice program. So this student was a Master's of Science in Criminal Justice with a concentration in cybercrime and cybersecurity. So as you can see, she customized the font to her liking, which is totally fine. You can customize this however you feel like doing. You can change the colors around or add pictures or anything like that. So here's her summary page. She introduces herself and what the portfolio contains. So now let's take a look at one of the learning outcomes. So one of the learning outcomes for the CJ program is application and evaluation of crime theory and policy. And I should mention that although you can customize your template or e-portfolio to your liking, we do ask that you leave the learning outcome box as is, just for evaluation purposes, so we know which learning outcome you're addressing. So here's her summary box. And then here's the actual assignment that she uploaded. So it was a paper. And she continued to do that for each learning outcome in the same format. So again, although we're requiring it for graduation purposes, for assessment reasons, you can continue adding to your portfolio even after you've graduated. You'll have access to this, so you can continue adding to it and really expand on it if you were to pursue another graduate program, or you can just make this your own section on the portfolio and then add a completely different section to it and add anything you want to it and share with whom you ever would like to. So that is the portfolio template. If you have any questions, feel free to chime in or use the chat box. Be happy to answer any questions you might have right now.
I think Matt, not a question, but Matt, would you mind? I'm trying to find your question. You couldn't find the tabs, you said?
I honestly might have like created my own independently. I think I didn't do it right. I put it in my signature for all my emails and it's like Matt Giordano's ePortfolio, but I kind of like built my own structure based off, I think, one of the really generic templates that was just for BU as a whole. So that might have been why I couldn't find some of them. I kind of was having trouble finding the CPUA specific stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know, Matt. I will. I can help you out with that. So once you've created a Digication account, you'll add yourself to the city planning course, and I think that's where some students get tripped up. Let me just kind of bring you through the steps here. So once you're in the Digication, you'll search the city planning course. So it's called a course. Once you enter it, you'll see a screen like this, and then you'll click the ePortfolios tab within the course, and then you'll have access to the template. So one of these templates you can use, and that's how this is the template you'll use to create the ePortfolio, and it will have all the learning outcome tabs on it. And you can edit and adjust and publish and all that stuff on that portfolio template.
Would I be able to like merge the one because I think I just made one independently. Would I be able to merge that one with the one you have on screen that you're sharing?
There might be an option to merge it. There is, because you can pull your template or your current ePortfolio with the CPUA template. You can kind of merge. So that might be an option. That's something we'll have to look into. But the template that we created is, it's a shell with the basics that we're looking for. But then you can really take on ownership of it, add pictures, or add different colors, fonts, anything that you want to do to it. So again, throughout the program, at the beginning of your course or in the middle of your course, just kind of reference the learning outcomes for the program, and just kind of think ahead of time, what assignment in this particular course meets which learning outcome, and you can start thinking about it and upload the assignment when you're done, and write a brief summary, and that's pretty much what we're looking for in that regard. So yeah, feel free to email me directly if you think of any other questions afterwards. I'm happy to help. We can set up a one-on-one Zoom call, and I can walk you through it, share screens, no problem there. But if you have any questions regarding, what particular assignment, reach out to your professor or Yeshim or Dr. Madhu or Dr. Yeshim. Maybe able to help you out as well.
Danny, and I'm not sure, this may be a question for Yeshim and Madhu. Chelsea says, can we upload multiple assignments from the same course?
Go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead, Yashim.
I think we're gonna give the same answer though. So let's say it together.
Yes.
Yes.
I know that sounds terribly cryptic to professors, but you know what? Sometimes the short answer is the best. Right, Danny? We can do that. And Danny, you're
Yes.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yes.
it's open to interpretation. You know, however, whatever assignment you feel meets the particular learning outcome. If it's more than one assignment, if it's just one assignment, but a minimum of one assignment. It could be different parts to the assignment.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Danny, thank you so much for your extending the help to the students in case they have some technical questions about the e-portfolio. I just wanted to confirm your hand so that I could confirm.
You're breaking up, Mario. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, I just wanted to confirm your email handle.
Yep. So it's Danny DGP at bu.edu. So DANNY DGP
Yeah.
at BU. Yeah, so if there are no further questions, I know your time is valuable, particularly during the semester. So I appreciate you giving up some of your time and talking about e-portfolios. Feel free to reach out if you have any further questions.
Danny, I know you've done this in the past for students and you've kind of done some webinars and I think for criminal justice, you did like a week of same thing, kind of like drop-in question answers. Are you going to be scheduling any more of those in this semester?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Andrea. Yep, I will. I will set some time in November. I'll schedule some times in November during 1 week in November, where students can just kind of pop in or set up a time and with any questions or any technical difficulties, we can go over it and walk you through the steps. So I will send something out in the November timeframe before Thanksgiving, for sure.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Fantastic. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Mr. Danny Pezzano. We are so delighted to, have this on the ground information about something so valuable because frankly, even for myself, till a few months ago, I was like, what is this digication, this black gray hole? So I think, just getting to see what we need to do and how to do it firsthand and you explaining it has been excellent. So no excuses anymore, folks. And Andrea will be sending out some more information. The recordings will be available. And Andrea, do you want to finish the evening?
Sure, absolutely. So I think we do put a link to the survey in the chat. So everybody, if you can fill out the survey, we would greatly appreciate it. Danny, thank you so much for your time. I know this is a biggie for everybody since it is part of the graduation requirements, and it's one of those things that can easily get away from you. And we all do it, kind of scramble at the end to try and get it done. So if we, kind of get on top of it early, hopefully it won't be kind of a frantic thing in your last semester. So thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any questions, let us know. I will follow up this presentation with the written instructions in the link, and then Danny's email as well. Thank you, Danny. And Matt, this started, yes, it did start semi recently. Any student who entered met fall in 2019, this became a requirement for their degree or certificate program. So we don't have, for us, a whole lot of examples. to show because we haven't really had anybody. I think we've had one certificate student complete the process so far. So we're still kind of, navigating this. And I know recently Danny and Yeshim and Nadu, I think, made some updates and stuff. So it's kind of, still working on it. So